crime is not a police matter. It is a people's matter. And it is affecting everybody. And we must understand the effect of crime.
Minister of National Security Robert Montego setting the foundation for his discussion with residents and business persons in St. Anne during his town hall meeting in August. In his presentation, persons were brought up to speed with the impact of crime on the country's economy.
Crime costs us in Jamaica approximately 5% of GDP. If it wasn't for crime, we would be able to fix more roads. The councillors would be able to put up more street lights. The schools would be better equipped. We would have more water in more communities, better garbage collection, and better services at the hospital and health centers.
To create the change needed, Minister Montego encouraged the residents to work with the police to curtail and solve crime-related matters.
We see the crime, we know of the perpetrator, but we remain silent. We as citizens must begin to help the police and not the criminal. And by our silence, we are helping the criminal. It is our silence that empowers them.
Minister Montego shared results seen since the employment of new technology within the police force. The security officers have been able to stem the flow of illegal guns and cybercrime.
Using ballistics and using an app developed by a Jamaican police officer, Sergeant Bernard, we are able to track some illegal guns. This year we have picked up over 500 more guns than last year. We have been arresting more and more persons who are engaged in skimming of people's credit cards.
A comprehensive approach is also being taken under the National Security Ministry's 5-pillar crime prevention strategy. It not only seeks to reduce crime, but also create behavioral and social change.
We are employing more retired judges and court staff and utilizing more court space so that we can begin to clear the backlog. We have amended the plea bargaining act, and we are employing some 20 attorneys at law to be attached to the police force to help the police to make the cases better so they get better conviction in the court. But I must tell us all that every week across Jamaica, the police win a case. We are moving to build out more homework and after-school programs and homework centers, children curfews. So we are doing parenting programs through CSJP, sports and recreational programs.
To reduce the opportunities for crime and violent activities, the government will be upgrading informal settlements through the Land Administration and Management Program, repairing streetlights and engaging in zinc fence removal, among other things. By year-end, a fully networked island-wide closed-circuit TV camera system is expected to come on stream for use by the police.
That will allow the private person to give us a feed, and then we'll put at the back end an analytics program so that we'll be able to use facial recognition. We'll be able to track cars.
The National Security Ministry is also implementing rehabilitation measures for the smooth reintegration of inmates at correctional institutions. Steps are also being taken to bring the police force up to its full capacity and to treat with the welfare of officers. After the presentation, it was time for feedback. Residents posed questions to Minister Montego and his team.
I would ask that you ask your diplomatic channel to see how you can work out some arrangement whereby some of those assets that belong to some of those deportees are now given to you, the ministry, to help with the reintegration program of those people when they come back here.
We actually do have an agreement with some countries that the Proceeds of Crime Act, our version of it, that whenever things are appropriated in other jurisdictions and we have a role to play, we can apply, and there is a mutual exchange treaty. And we have received funds under that treaty.
When the police take the guns from the gunmen out on the street, where those guns goes?
The gun is taken to the lab, it's fired and recorded and locked away for disposal. We used to dump them in the sea some years ago, but we found that method was not in keeping with the environment. So they are now melted. By policy again, justices of the peace are usually invited to witness on behalf of the public the melting of these weapons.
What the FLA is doing, that by December of this year, every legal weapon must have a ballistic signature registered with the FLA, otherwise we are going to revoke the license. So therefore, if a legal weapon is fired, we will be able by bullet fragments to tell you which gun fired that bullet and can match it.
When you come up and speak and your life is in danger, is there a system in place to protect us, the citizens?
You don't have to give your name, just give the information. And we also have a witness protection program in Jamaica. And we have settled witnesses all over the world, depending on the threat level and depending on the circumstances. But every case is treated individually.
The conversation on ensuring security and safety for all continues as more Jamaicans become part of the process, making Jamaica a safe place to work, live, raise families, and do business.